You know what are similarities between me and Dan Schneider? I have no idea, to be honest, but I know what Miranda is, I guess. If that counts, a lot of things count. I just know Nickelodeon because this creature has sucked me into that vortex. But this picture feels pretty fresh. It's like, can we put even more accountability on this bad boy? No, I don't care about drama that much. But I do care about this feed website that we're gonna visit because that's what it is. And disclaimer is necessary. Women are beautiful, and you should dare to look at them instead of dare to criminalize everything all the time. Now, obviously, bad publicity would bring down a lot of people's reputation, except mine, because I don't have reputation, unfortunately, and I actually don't even intend to have a reputation. Besides YouTube Rewind, right? You have the YouTube Rewind thing, and if you try to bring it down, I will fight tooth and nail to actually resist the arrest. Overall, though, I do some pretty random things, and I want to keep my sanity and look at women because I'm single and all that shit. Is just like the overall landscape everywhere around is just sad guy sitting next to a computer and making YouTube videos. That's what it is, right? And there's nothing creepy about the feed website because I'm not here to look at the feed. It's just a very good website overall. And like I always say, face with the feet. I actually can summon face because there's Facebook. The combination of these two, you have to put stuff in between. It's like a sandwich at this point. Why have two slices of bread when you can have stuff in between? You don't have feet and face floating around in space. It actually is a great combination of things, in fact. And it is that weird thing that feet are cute somehow. Just like hands are cute. Just like lots of places of the body can be cute, but this is literally it, right? Whatever we find cute is like the ending of things. So, wow, so cute. Oh wow, and the face can be cute, and the ending of the head can be cute. So that's just what we find cute, bro. I'm just saying. And if you create more endings in your body, I mean, yeah, you get the idea, right? To spice things up, and the feet website is getting to 20,000. I wish I could rename it to something else, but I don't think this is something to be ashamed of, to be honest. It's just other people find it weird, but that doesn't, you don't win the court. The justice is not on your side. In fact, last time I checked, Victoria is a Nickelodeon star, and just kind of rooted into that. And she has to always be grateful. So unfortunately, justice is not on your side. But that's the whole point. You would be fighting for the definition that looking at feet is so creepy that you always deserve bad publicity, basically. Always, on everything. On every aspect of yourself. It's like a voodoo doll at this point, when I look at it. In combination with this. But bad publicity is basically just like constantly pouring water and interest, and you're not really interested, and you just keep pouring water. And it's like, I don't care. I just care about this one thing. And again, if you attack YouTube Rewinds, first of all, this is not getting anything, any amount of support or attention, despite being the most important pillar of my, what I do. So right now it needs bad publicity. It needs anything at all. So that would be very lovely if we get to that point. Because it's just like slowly exposing how nasty the world is. Like the world actually knows how to manipulate you and enslave you or some bullshit like that. Like that's how fucking crazy it's getting right now. using gaslighting tactics massively, bro. Just every tactic in the book. NPCs are fucking ruthless, man. Like skibidi toilets will surround your house and do whatever it takes to take advantage of you. This is the world we live in, bro. So the fact that people are outraged and try to create drama out of nothing is something that actually pisses me off, because I don't know if that's a good thing to do right now. I think there's better things to do. So with that disclaimer, hopefully it helps dispel. I still don't need anyone to watch this content, by the way. You should be watching YouTube Rewind. But hey, you know, let's find that creep somewhere in the corner of the screen. I don't know if that's what we're looking for. I actually have a creep. A girl called Creep. So, here you go. We can put it in the fucking corner. Maybe someone's satisfied already. So I want to summon Discover Girls and Seem Age Girls, because these are two different generations that we're transitioning from, and see who's stronger, you know, who generates more feat points. And I think I have to use the simple button. So, summon Discover Girls. This actually, I need a separate room for this, because this looks very crowded. Yeah, I thought Facebook would go down, and it's sort of going down from 29.2. It has to hit 25 specifically. I can't wait to eliminate Facebook from, like, turn it into pink. Stuff like this. Because the AZ feed is not gonna get there, bro. It's not gonna get purified. To be purified, it needs 20%. Then you transition to 25%. There's this gap that if you become purified, you go over. It's weird, but that's the portal. That's the vortex. You go below 25, bam. You become pink monster, bro. And above 20%, bam, you teleport to something like this, the Instagram or Pinterest. Websites that I kind of visit every day, so not only they are rivals, but they're also purified and probably never gonna actually fall down in that sense. It's still very possible that fighting gravity of other celebrities is very difficult, but even on Instagram, everyone's just resetting their profiles. Every celebrity just wants to like reset and build a new profile of themselves. It's the most outrageous thing they do. And like fucking 70% of celebrities do that. Like giant amount of them that I observe. They just straight up reset their profiles as if they can get embarrassed or something. Victoria didn't do that. Selena doesn't do that. And like, these are very smart people. Victoria. Alright, this is how I call her. And we're gonna summon them anyways. So let's do that. Discover Girls. Summon Same Age Girls. 10? There's 10 links. That's weird. So bam. And we're gonna make them battle, because that's what it is. We're gonna transition basically slowly from one generation to the other. Poppy's same age, yes. Yes, that's why. There's actually a lot. What's missing? Yeah, the Nyon is missing. Alright, cool. You can see even the color coding is very, very different of these people. You have the elite above 15,000 points. And then this cluster of just around 7,000 points. basically double the amount, but that's what it is. That's what it's like being a Powerpuff. You double your points over time. You can imagine that happening. And there's a very intricate storylines that I attach to every single one. Domination max stats, really big deal. And then the smaller deals that I'm not exactly sure what I'll be doing. Because these ones are intense. This one's going to be intense. Especially now that I just now made a post of like, there's 4B movement. Women are doing some weird shit. Maybe they're breaking their own hearts and they're going to be looking for love somehow. And I just have to position myself. Nicely position myself so like women would use me as something. I call it a tissue for their tears. But who knows? Maybe there's more. So like positioning, very likely right now, is a very good deal. Especially now that it's a vortex year. Vortex year means that women are just literally raining down, potentially. They're just leveling down themselves because they can't possibly achieve their goals anymore. Now that Trump is in office, Trump will want to actually clean shit up. All right? The UK government wants to be the shit that wants to be cleaned up. But Trump actually is smart enough with the power of, democracy. With the power of democracy, Trump is just going to clean up the swamp. Because he has to, like, these people are obligated to each other. They're not obligated to some fucking money laundering scheme. They are obligated to each other to ramp each other up and feel good about themselves. This is why democracy only works in America. It's crazy. Democracy only works in America. And this factoid just kind of blows my mind when I first realized. And there's a lot of shit like this that I realize. The vortex year, the prediction of the future and all these things. Like, I'm figuring things out that no mortal at this point can actually even come even close. Unless they build a fucking particle generator. Accelerator, bro. And then they can still flex some fucking scientific nonsense. I have smashed this atom with another atom to see what happens. Crazy, bro. That's insane. Who are these people at this point? Science is so stupid, by the way. Science is a synonymous to lying. And getting away with it. But anyways, this just kind of mind-blowing, right? Democracy only works in America. People are nice in America. And it's just the most potent thing that will trickle down. Hopefully, I'll grab as much trickling down as possible to myself, because people just have to vote for things and make sure that we have nice things all over the world. It's just the obvious thing going on, and obviously we will have to pay an extra price if we want stuff from America now, except for one thing, which is entertainment. Entertainment will always be free in order to, advertise things to you, but you can just build a fantasy of things that you want to have, and eventually, you scrap a bunch of coins in your pocket, put it on the table like a little child and say, that thing. And you get the best fucking iPhone in the universe. And to say iPhone is an understatement, because that would be an Android, Way better than iPhone, unfortunately. In fact, Android has won the competition of Mr. Who's the Boss. Like, there's a lot of shit is going on right now. But the battle begins. All right? The girl battle. Because these are the people that keep my sanity. The women. They always try to be positive. They try to avoid drama. Just the reason why women try to do that is because any evil attached to a woman cuts their reputation. That's all they have to do, is just run around and avoid evil attaching to them. Whether it's going to be a shitty boyfriend, shitty attitudes towards things, doing just something wrong in general over and over again. like all of these evils, you actually can calculate and cut women down every single time you see them do something pretty evil, or that you consider evil, based on just your perception, because that matters. Because you're trying to look for a girlfriend, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't be spending time like this. It's kind of crazy, but you see a woman do something stupid and you can cut their reputation, with meaning that the amount of followers they have, whatever the number is, you can cut it in half. All right? Whatever the number is that's bigger than yours. So anytime that happens, you probably want to keep receipts. It's also a very interesting thing that could have been a storyline, to be honest. Maybe it will be. Fireproof? Fireproof could mean that I don't sell out my reputation to anything. I don't give in to evil just because it pays me money, right? It's just a lot of very tricky things are happening in the world. And I'm keeping my eye on it. I'm just kind of surprised that we went this far into this video already. I'm so excited about a lot of things. And the world matrix is in my hands. I am the fucking Neo, basically, of this new century, or new millennium. I'm the first Neo, if anything. If you want to label me as the coolest fucking name of all time, just I'm the dude from the Matrix. Except I'm in control. I might be Morpheus like times 10, because Morpheus would be just like my henchman. Some fucking dude who gives out pills to people. You know, just some advertisement boy, little boy in Morpheus. If you compare Morpheus to like me or something. And I'm just the pill master, the pill manufacturing CEO. It's interesting, bro. There's no such thing as Matrix, right? Like, there's no such thing. All right, cool. Let's jump in, boys. I'm very excited about everything. Finally, I get to have a break after all of this rewind shit. Because nobody likes watching it anyways. It's just so frustrating. So I don't really have to put much effort. But what happened, and I will say it over and over again, I had like 9 days to actually do the rewind. Because I changed my mind of how I want to do it, and just like for a whole month I was like building this whole intricate system, and it just kind of too much effort. You know, like shit. I thought it's gonna be easy, but it's too much effort. To the point where I could have potentially done it, like you have seen the matchpad encounter, and I can just copy and paste the encounter, which is different things going on. But I just kind of scared away from that. Because it would still be like very intense 9 days. That would produce 15 minutes of content for sure. For sure, 15 minutes. But it wouldn't have any storyline behind it. And that also scared me. So I'll say that over and over again. I don't want to repeat it right now. Let's just jump in, make them battle. And see who's victorious. Because or just see how much they can actually squeeze, because it's a squeezing game. All right, they already have some points attached behind their name, so it's the squeezing game of can you find more points all of a sudden. And very likely I've already checked them out in recent times. Meaning that I would be checking them again. As a warm-up, let's check someone I didn't check, I think. I have all of this intricate shit going on. Sophie... No entry? Yes, entry. What do you mean? Am I tripping balls right now? No. Okay. It was checked pretty recently. I don't know. I'm still drowsy, to be honest. But anyways, here comes the battle. You can even lose points technically, but I will take my time. It also could be a bonding experience of, getting the teammate bonds every time you connect. with the team. It would be a teammate bond. So I'm actually gonna do that too. And but only for Sage girls, because these ones are tough now to crack. Let's see if they're worthy competitors overall. And they can grow on plenty of platforms, because that's a hard thing to do. Alright. There's two different ways of doing it. I could put a podcast, and Joe Rogan could be definitely a dude behind the wheel. I actually tried to do that in election. When election was going on, I was actually keeping track of what's going on. But I'm redoing this video immediately. It's an emergency. It's like 20,000 points. Like, it's super important. The way celebrities do it is very interesting, actually, on Instagram. They just reset their profiles. But it's kind of funny how I would do the same thing, potentially. I could reset them to 0 and see where we go from here. Now, Dove immediately is eliminated. Dove is one of the first ones that I checked in recent times. I actually can show you guys the link, right? The Dove is literally the last thing I checked on the Feet website, so it's a solid score. Everyone else I can like cut it in half, but I'm not gonna do it. You know, you have to actually genuinely build a better version of yourself in order to scrap whatever you have built previously. It's a very fucked up motion to do on Instagram, just to delete everything. But it's just the celebrity trend that I would call it evil. I would definitely 100% label it as evil, and it cuts their reputation by half immediately when you notice that. It's very nice. Heads up, I would say. If they had 2 million followers, now they only have 1 million. And that's why I'm so much better than them. Also subscribe. Maybe we're gonna get 1 million followers after 1 million days. That people subscribe. Like, one person subscribes today, that's it, bro. 1 million days and we have 1 million subscribers. 1 million days can't be that bad. Just can't be that bad, bro. It cannot be that. It's just 2,000 years. We're gonna be fine, guys. All right, guys. Let's figure out what podcast do we put in the background. Which Joe Rogan podcast specifically, because apparently I don't know if there's any good podcast out there. I feel like Lex's podcast get to the same level. There's the Star Talk thing that you should never fucking watch.
It's one of the best comedies I've seen in a long time.
Holy shit. A movie released and it's the best movie ever?
Duncan and I did a whole podcast where we pretended to be furries.
What the fuck?
We every podcast. Right match at first, you can...
Man, fuck your stupid BetterHelp, please.
It's right.
Slavery is actually fundamentally wrong.
Oh, wow. Let's talk about slavery. I have a very good picture of the world, unfortunately, and I know everything about it. And black people are still slaves, just for women now. Women now treat black men as something else, as fucking toys. And as weapons to take advantage of just people's weaknesses and shit like that. You're racist. Let me throw this black person at you and burn your house down or some bullshit like that. Still slavery. To be fighting for someone and have bad intentions regardless. And all the slavery trickles down to Africa. So that's where all the slavery is and will forever be there. There's no escape from slavery in Africa. There's always going to be a region in the world that's just filled with slaves. And we associate black people with slavery because that's just... It's never going to be cleaned. That definition actually is never going to be fixed and cleaned. This is just what it is. They have a lot of energy and they don't know where to put it. It's a combination that happens and you have to enslave that person, unfortunately. because they would just go to jail. They have so much energy, and the only thing they would do is just stupid things. So might as well offer them to work and not get too much in return, because you don't want them to buy a fucking weapon all of a sudden. They have to prove themselves each step of the way. It's hard, bro. Life is hard. Dealing with certain type of people is hard. And we don't just have to be stuck with black people, but that's what Americans care about, is the fact that they have a contrast to work with. In contrast, they're the highest level people, and black people are the lowest level people. And Americans play games with that concept, basically. They just play games. Now, you should never be sucked into that game, unfortunately. You should never associate yourself as an American if you're not one of them, right? Because you can see this topic is like super spicy. It's like, oh, you're racist. That's another bad publicity thing. Hopefully it's not, a declaration of war publicity. Because that shit is absolute insanity. There is the last level of publicity, just negative space of you being attacked. Publicize that you should attack this person, and they openly do that. So that's definitely not where you want to be, and you should avoid topics like that. I think I can turn it into like bad publicity anyways, because I'm just one dude with original opinions and all that crap. I don't really have a following of any kind, so I can sort of say whatever I generate in my head. I say generated like it's a very intelligent thing that I'm doing.
As Jews, because of Israel's position.
Yeah, anti-Semitism, same as racism, basically. Just a more twisted story, because you don't see Jews all over the place. But, and I haven't figured out what Jews are onto. But you can be anti-Asian and all that shit. Like, everything is below us. All of these races are actually inferior, unfortunately. Unless they position themselves in America. Then you kind of criticize them. You see how it is? Like, China can be criticized in China. But when Chinese person comes to America, you kind of criticize them. That's the rule of law. I'm not saying that that's what people decided. That's the way the world works. Position actually matters, unfortunately. You should criticize other countries so they do dare to come peacefully. If they do not care about peace, then you can criticize them with missile strikes, basically, and retaliation. That's what it is. So anti-Semitism is like, Jews live in like Israel, bro. Israel is a fire country. It's level 3 difficulty country. So of course there's a reason to criticize them. There's reasons to criticize Europeans, for fuck's sake. You don't have to like Europeans, basically. And that's because we have contained Hitler, basically. We have brewed the most vicious personality out there. So there's reasons to hate every single thing about the world except America. Because it's level 1 place, and there's not much to hate about it. Alright? There's sometimes deception, there's sometimes fishiness going on. But overall, like, America is always going to remain clean in that sense. And the lower difficulty you go, the more disgusting people you're going to meet. That's just how it is. It seems. I've discovered this difficulty rating, and I'm like, shit, that makes too much sense. And when these grown-ass men speak to each other, I'm just 10 steps ahead of them. But I will let them generate ideas. That's fine.
What they judge people, like Martin Luther King said, by the content of their character.
And additionally, by your ability to be patient and to be able to judge in the first place. How are you in a position of power to judge anyone in the first place, right? It's a very weird thing. But you can definitely use self-defense on anyone. ever. As long if they're pursuing, if a black person approaches you, you have the right to defend that approach, so they don't come to your bubble basically, and they cannot just use "oh, you're racist" type of thing to actually imply that your self-defense is negated. In that sense, like this is the position we are. We just have to learn to defend ourselves now because it's pretty dangerous out there. And black people are just super easy to identify and very easy to suspect that they are potentially evil, or potentially can harm you. Like, there's too many indications of that. So, yeah, and now immigration shows the same data of, like, while they're more criminal based, right? Whatever the reasons are, like Europeans attempt to find reasons of like, oh, he doesn't have enough friends. Like the biggest reason is that they are immigrants, that they're new to the place, and now all of a sudden there's all these like fluffy reasons of like why we can actually excuse someone getting stabbed and sexually abused. It's like what reasons, bro? We're being attacked. All right, there's no reasons. Go back to your country. There's no fucking excuses for this shit. And it's like Europeans will always try and find excuses. They're always smart asses that just fart out of their mouths instead of actually doing anything productive and just accepting things that they are. That your reasons are not strong enough, but they're smart enough to abuse themselves and take brain damage pills, basically. So the world is quite interesting now that I see it clearer and clearer. And I need subscribers to actually like nod their heads to be like, yeah, that makes sense. But holy shit, how long will it take to actually, get confirmation? Is it the problem that like I'm not likable enough? Do I have to actually reveal my face? And then it's like, oh, it's game, Where does he live? Who is that person? How many jobs can he lose? Basically, based on our merits. Any fucking bullshit. This is why I'm not very comfortable revealing my face or anything. I just want people to know information that I know, so I can relatively speak about those things that I know and not something else. Because these people can sit on a podcast and, give me 50% of the story, and I won't be satisfied. I won't just chill and sit back and enjoy the show because I know more. I know a certain information that Joe Rogan actually has to bring up on the table, and he probably would just be freaking out, honestly. If I was in Joe Rogan's podcast, he would just be freaking out. Like, his brain would melt so fucking fast. And be like, shit, I have to redo my Instagram profile from the ground up. This is crazy. Maybe his hair will start growing all of a sudden. Maybe the brain will melt so hard, his hair start growing.
You'd get ice cream. There's people that are real victims of racism.
The biggest way to treat racism is to go up the level of difficulty. So you don't belong in China, but you just go into the China. That's racist. Invading other countries that are higher level of difficulty, unless you have built a family, you're racist because you're looking for a second half. Your heart is going to be restless and constantly leeching of like, you're going to be a sticky surface in that situation. And the moment people will figure out that you're racist, you're doomed, bro. You're just gonna get obliterated. Now, the anti-racism, which is the movement that's happening right now, is to bring people from lower difficulty or from higher difficulty areas, like Russians or Ukrainians going into Europe, basically. That's anti-racism, right? To try and build them up. This anti-racism is expensive, however, incredibly expensive. It's insanity to actually think that you can just get away with infinite anti-racism, you know, until to the point where everyone is like suspicious that there's a conspiracy going on. We're just like, wow, anti-racism is so expensive. The elites are just trying to waste all their money to create anti-racism, and the anti-racism is just going to destroy the world. It's not going to happen, though. The world is not going to get destroyed. The good people will always prevail, unfortunately. You know, and all these elites are actually going to get washed away because they're the biggest expense ever. And they have all the money to, you know, get sucked into that vortex. I wouldn't be surprised, like, right now I just heard in TikTok, some elite dude has died. Some billionaire has already died. It's crazy, man. It's much more likely to happen. Fucking immigrants are going to invade mansions than just slums. It's pretty obvious, right? And then all of a sudden, some rich people can get sucked into the vortex of, first of all, defending each other, negating anti-racism. All of a sudden, it was, oh shit, anti-racism is bad because it killed this rich person. So all of a sudden, they could try and like save their asses, reverting their entire ideology 180 degrees, and then spark incredible amount of hatred. The elite would just get fucking eaten at that point and hunted down like fucking rats. This is the shit that they are not aware of because they're that evil. But when they flip something, they flick a switch that they have been standing on and propagating for so long, they flick that switch, it's war zone for them. The people are not going to look at them the same fucking way. Fuck the rich, eat the rich, basically, and enslave the rich is what it is, man. So, yeah, I mean, this is 20 minutes of Joe Rogan, and I'm already tripping my balls off. Wow, I see a pattern with Chrissy. Definitely likes the booty day. Holy fucking weird, man. That is weird. I mean, it's the person carefully obsessed to grow muscle somewhere in this area.
Why does skin color exist? Like how do some people have different skin color than others?
I actually have a theory on that just popped into my head. It's pain. Pain makes things black. You know? That's what definition of pain is to void something of color and emotion, to make it numb, but literally goes black. So it's the sun that makes your skin so painful that it just goes black. Like you void it of all emotion. You're not gonna feel emotion on your skin. It's kind of fascinating to me that this theory just super rock solid to me.
Other people.
Because it just popped right now.
And
wait, what? Demotion? We actually lose 8 points? Yeah, there's basically two things to do in life. Level up and ensure safety. Save the progress, basically. Make sure that everyone around you still kind of lets you live a relatively stable life, because the trapdoor is going to open and you're going to fall through the cracks. Like, people are going to do that. They're going to allow Ukrainians into their countries, but a lot of shit is still going to wash away back into Ukraine, back into Russia. So, there's no real progress that's going to happen in actuality. It's just a swapping of people, it seems. In other words, political world does not matter as much as your life does. And let me unpack this as an article thing, or as a post. That's a post. It's a Twitter-sized post. It's very valid to not be racist, right? Especially when immigration is on the rise and there's more people coming in from higher difficulty places. And people who are close to you who make you bored and becoming toxic neighbors, basically. I mean, you would be happy to just replace them with something else. Anything else. Lower difficulty, higher difficulty, as long as people are moral. Because now you're just judging them on individual basis. You don't want your country to become third world country, so to speak. But yeah, third worlds, if that's how difficulty is being called, well, I just call them levels of difficulty. But third worlds, so there's seven worlds in that case. Crazy how we stopped at China, the country of infinite lies. We just stopped. There's no fourth world, isn't it? China, fucking weirdos. Just a reminder, same age girls. There's just like the concept. It's very interesting to be able to relate to them. I have one Asian, one Korean person, so it's gonna be interesting comparison. This is a very relatable girl, and we already eliminated that off the list, unfortunately. Technically, I could have made him smaller. Right? Eliminated. Stuff. Eliminated from the conversation. To end a debate about this immigration thing, it's like you always have to be on your toes. You have to have a perfect strategy to execute anti-racism immigration bullshit. If you cannot teach people to not do crime and you cannot respond to crime fast enough, I mean, you should retract all these policies that allow immigration in the first place. But I just... the overall political fucking problem. And new politicians have to rise, or new waves. Like, there's still not a way to actually make a country exist. And this is one of the first things that I actually thought about as a thought experiment of like just a country starting to exist like that. That's a very powerful way to actually resist the government. Just existence of a country, even if it's temporary country, just existence of that country, existence of independence. Yeah, and the longer the hold of flies, the threat is growing. Like you're just gonna have a like fucking acne on your country, like tiny group of people who just not gonna be submitting to the larger pool of people. It's crazy. You should be. Politicians would be scared of that shit, but it's not possible. Like people don't have that superpower, and I'm sort of willing to dig around to find out if there's a way to conjure it somehow. Because it seems like a solution to a lot of problems. A self-governance, independence, claiming independence. This is a big deal. It happened throughout history, but it's not a superpower that can be executed just like building a business. It can't be done that easily.
For a living at all, I don't think I'd be on any of this stuff.
I think I'd be off everything.
Yeah.
If I was not a quote unquote public figure, I would be off everything.
Oh my god, they're doing drugs only because they're public figures. Victoria, it's 10. It's 600 out of 27. But she was checked so recently that I'm like, nah, bro, we're not gonna get to 41 points. Despite the potential being 45, maybe?
But it just, you get a little blip. Instead of getting 100% dose, you get like a little 1% dose. All these people murdered in some, third world country. You just get a little tiny piece of it all the time, and it normalizes it. It's probably really, really bad for us. Massive groups of people that think the Earth is flat.
Which isn't, I can't.
I can't.
I don't know
can't.
how that, yeah.
Yeah, you can't. But the thing is, that's how dumb people are. That you can have a fake thing and say it enough times, and enough people will jump in.
You mean the space is fake? And also has been said enough times. And the story of just like space in general, just so propagated without actual anything happening from space. So that has been said a lot more times than Earth is flat is just a way to negate all these stories that don't actually fucking matter. It's a counter to science. So calling these people stupid, this is where Joe Rogan is just straight up flexing his old muscles at this point. He just thinks that he can out-argue by just being a douchebag at this point. Then out-argue these group of people, a flat earth, a douchebag who interviewed scientists or whatever, right? And he's like, he just threw it out there. It's like, hey, these people are stupid, right? It's fucking mental, bro. There's definitely a grudge that would, even if Joe Rogan actually invites me to his show, I'm like, fuck you. You don't respect flat earth people at all. So I'm sorry, bro. You're disqualified.
On board with it, and then you don't even.
And then it becomes a real thing, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Well, people are sus about something, and their suspicion gets confirmed over and over again. Definitely my suspicion got confirmed millions of times, and people, create a group of people who just share the suspicions. And it's like, what the fuck, bro? Why be disrespectful in that sense? Like, he would get pummeled just by me being on his podcast. I'm almost like feel sad about him if he fucking invites me. Ever in my lifetime. Mark my words, bro. It's crazy. If that's the only thing he invites me for, maybe I will respect that. Because he's attempting, to put down his point of view and allowing me to just beat it up out of his system. Beat it out of his system, basically.
Even have to propaganda anymore. These morons are doing it for you.
Fucking crazy.
The thing that gets me about this, because I didn't realize that it was a real thing until, I don't know, a few years ago. I posted something about it. And you get the people that say, yeah, I think the Earth's flat, and you're just really stupid.
It's crazy how these people can just sit there, unable to prove anything, but able to assume things that those people are just stupid. Like, what the fuck is that? Right? This is already arrogance beyond belief. Like, to be able to put yourself in that position is pretty crazy, right? How about just don't talk about flat Earth? If something is happening in your life and it puts you in this fucking miserable position, how about just don't talk about it? How about just leave these people alone? Not call them stupid? Because they're definitely not stupid. And it's just like, if we have to prove that we're not stupid, it's literally war. War can fucking engage just because of flat Earth. Like, you don't understand the level of insanity that these people just sat down and just fucking farted into each other's mouths at this point. It's crazy. There is no escape. There is no left and right to be able to escape to. All of these people are insane. If they're politically leaning onto anything, they're gonna get crippled very quickly. So just watching these pods is so fucking frustrating, man.
But what I was more...
I guess all of this is unnecessary hatred. Unbelievable amount of neglect to try and understand the other side, clearly. Just, it's all unnecessary. It's crazy. Labeling flat Earth as propaganda that we just made up, that's crazy too, because again, space is propagated over and over again without anything happening from space. There's nothing that happens in space, bro. Absolutely nothing. No, science even neglects the idea that moon and the sun are the same size bodies, not by coincidence, but by design. They just completely neglect that, which could be wrong, which could change everything. Literally everything. Moon could be a healing force of like chilling down instead of the hot sun fucking scorching you. Moon could be just a chill thing that also tells you information about your sleep schedule and how dangerous the world is at that particular moment. Crazy. Mm-hmm. But, this is where things get really awkward because your beliefs actually reveal your blind spots, your ways of negating other people's intelligence, even, because that's what it is. And I just hate listening through that. Like, it's really triggering for them to just jump into the flat earth just to use it of, like, here's stupid people. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? I'll be a part of that camp. When you say stupid people, I'll be a part of that camp, and I'm gonna get very fucking upset.
Fascinating. 80%
Every single time. And they will slash their reputation in half just by doing that. Every time they do it.
people who
It's just the easiest scapegoat for them. For actually stupid people, they want scapegoats like that. It's like, that's usually the blind spot. It's like, I really need that scapegoat. I really need to an example of stupid people. You know, they don't quite find it because they're stupid themselves. You know? It's crazy.
80% of the if you're just completely stupid and you got sucked into this cult thing. But what I don't get is how can you be on the fence about
Probably didn't fucking talk to enough flat earthers then.
the
It's
shape
piece
of
of
the
shit,
earth?
bro.
Well, it's just
How can you? Because you don't actually see the shape of the earth
people
Ever.
that really are not
in
educated.
your life. You can't. You can't see the shape of the earth. You can't see the entire earth by yourself. And the idea that you can go to space to see it is a very weird idea that science can just make up just like magic. And I'm so pissed. I will stop listening to Joe Rogan for like a week or something, because that's what you have to do with these fucking people. If you just suck in and be like, "Oh yeah, he called me stupid, but I'm just gonna continue," just like fuck off, man. Joe Rogan disqualified for a fucking week. Over. I would rather watch like fucking Sniper Wolf at this point. What I don't understand is like, how can you even entertain this idea? Like, it just starts such a fucking meltdown of disrespect, because they think that flat earth is just like a minority that will not fucking destroy them, fucking obliterate their reputation, just eat them alive in terms of like internet influence. Get the fuck out of here. This is where I'm fucking salivating to just obliterate these people. There's an obvious thing going on, by the way. I love space. I'm in love with space. And the space story is so interesting. It's innovation. We're going to travel to different worlds. Oh, yes. You're in love. I forgot. You're in love with anime girls that are not even real or have a face. You know, at least people who are fucking weeaboos, basically, at least they like faces. Things that have noses and mouths and can talk and have personality, potentially. There's some fucking idiots, old idiots who actually like space and all these fucking things that they will not even be able to experience in their lifetimes, by the way. It's nothing has happened. Like, space is the most boring shit of all time. If you made a movie about space, it would just never get a sequel, basically. It's fucking crazy to me. You know what I'm hoping? I'm hoping they do it on this particular purpose, to discredit themselves onto the subject, to hope that someone's gonna actually obliterate, just like I intend to, just like they intend me to exist, and obliterate them on this topic. They're just gonna do it on purpose. Call these people stupid on purpose. So it just happens faster. I love that shit. But we need a new podcast now because space is not real anymore. Here it is, satellite, finally.
This is take your selfie in space with the Earth photobombing you.
Let's see that shape of the Earth,
And it
guys.
gets even upload your
It's just so convenient that everything gets stuck in that orbit. You know, just everything gets stuck. Nothing quite leaves the orbit to give us a full, definitive view of the Earth. But at this point, it's too late. It's too late now. There's AI technology that can just do anything. Anything you want. They can simulate the universe at this point. It's too late. You're fucked now. You can't show me the Earth anymore. I will not believe anything anymore from space. It actually, time has run out for this subject to actually be proven either way. So it's over. I don't give a fuck about space whatsoever now. And these are the people who are idiots. It's an idiot by definition. It's a person who cares about things that don't fucking matter. It's crazy, bro.
Your picture to the saddle, specifically.
Just quickly, science is the way of experiencing things so you get new insights. That's what science is supposed to be about. But science has diluted into just lying. Of just like, this is how it is, believe me, and that's it. It gives you a pill, it says what it does, and it's supposed to do that thing. And it's like, how am I supposed to know that? I have to actually experience it for myself, all the benefits of that stupid pill. Otherwise, I'm not taking it. I'm just not going to take it, bro. I'm not going to take your fucking lies. I'm not going to take your magic tricks to be just actual magic. It's crazy to think that people get fooled by this. But it's just because of lack of education. The education has to match the lies and insanity of science. And it doesn't quite do that right now. In fact, education has to be updated so there's more flat earthers, not less. Because of critical thinking requirements, because of science supposed to give you ability to make your own pills. How about that? Or discover pills faster that actually have benefits in them. If we're talking about just the nitty-gritty experimental bullshit. And in that sense, it's not about pills, it's about food products, mixing food products and increasing your life quality, basically. That would also be science, learning all these little things that give you experience and insights and free up your life using technology or just solve some kind of problems. That should be science. Should be held as science instead of just, it's lies. It's people yapping against silence and filling up all the voice with as much noise as possible. Space is so interesting, except other people have to talk about it and not show anything whatsoever.
From so much air.
So, what am I looking at? What am I gonna see?
Take satellite pictures over every spot.
Oh,
The shape is a
wow.
little bit disintegrate and eventually led me to Mars.
Where's that selfie though? It takes out the. It's already there, so it's supposed to like be proven as well. And this is literally the definition of science, just fucking clickbait at this point.
Wait, physics.
If that's what's going on, and I think that's what's going on. Like, we're actually not gonna see his picture at all. Like, from this, I can already tell it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo
Says the
bullshit.
cube must rotate once.
In other words, to simplify, everyone needs to go to space to see the Earth for what it is. You cannot believe other people. That's not possible and not scientific. It has to be proven through experience. How can you produce that? You can't. And that's it. That's where science just is so fucking arrogant to even exist in space, right? They should just do their own thing and no one should be actually quite interested. But because of people's interest, the lie comes alive. You know, just because of people's foolish interest into space, whatever the fuck space is, because it's useless right now, and only scientists should be, you know, navigating it or whatever. But instead we're salivating over space so fucking much that it just turns into a commercial fucking lie. It's crazy to me that Joe Rogan is just in that fucking blind spot right now. But hey, you know, everything comes to an end eventually, and new generations kick out the old generations, unfortunately, for collecting too much dust and just dumbass behavior.
Space. And just like you could precise.
Or ideas, whatever, it just accumulates. Stupidity also stacks, you know?
Now because
Stupidity and arrogance stacks against the amount of power that you accumulate. If you have a lot of power, but you have 10% of stupidity, like, people are not going to look at you as a very reasonable person. If 10% of your power is used for stupid reasons, for example.
because rotating the second to last
The funny thing is, when you're mixing reality with science, it's like, was space created as a story to talk about stars and like uplifting things, and it's more of a spiritual experience than actual like tacky scientific. So science would be ruining its own story basically by making, you know, their own version of solar system and all that crap. It's just without explanation. So potentially space and anti-flat Earth ideology has been created to uplift people's idea of what space could be, but now it has been hijacked by science to test things, you know, and it's just, this is ugly. This is just fucking ugly, bro.
Hardware. We need to
That's
be able
all I'm
to talk-
saying.
You actually mess up their swinging and they slow down.
It is nice to create storylines that allow you to be innovative and all that shit. That's also important. But it's best to know all the possibilities and all the sides of the story before you start criticizing anyone at all.
Everything from your phone right after it hits the
Yeah, there's nothing that will trigger me more than that. Yeah. Anyways.
of the space or its
See, that's interesting. Anything that... No, it's not space related, just simple physics.
frequency, and we go
Whatever.
past the resonant frequency.
Yeah, Earth is pretty fucking... Look at this. Flat Earth. And that's where Victoria is. That's where I want to be. I want to be on a flat Earth, not on a fucking round ball bullshit that's spinning around in space. Get the fuck out of here. This is where I want to be. Alright?
That's like going from nearly twice the hottest temperature every 90
What the fuck? So how does anyone survive in space?
pretty fast. So once again, we use you is to vacuum you.
Yeah, so the idea is that science has to tell you how to build rockets into space. And if we can't do it, then Earth is whatever shape you want it to be. And the most convenient is, in fact, the flat shape, unfortunately. And the biggest tribe of them all. But it's actually the opposite that's, like, very weird, that people actually believe in round Earth of some kind. I was like, what the fuck is that? Why? How is that even possible? That's confusing to me, actually. That the story just went out of control somehow and engulfed the Earth. So interesting. People play too much basketball or something. Like, people believe in the Earth is a ball because they have grew up in just courtyards playing with balls, you know, like, that's it. And they fucking look down and it's like, I have 2 balls right now. That's what it is, man. It's always the fucking brain damage that you can source it back to. It's like some basic fucking way of thinking that turns into an elaborate scheme to make people believe in a ball. It's fucking crazy, but it is what it is, right? And a bunch of balls in the space. Like, it's kind of fucking insane, man.
To death. Pile of
It's just, but it's what happens when I use psychology. It's like people always make up stupid shit. It's like the memes are stronger than you think, and the memes fucking strike at you from the scariest places. When your life is changing, the memes strike as well. All this fucking weird shit. So Earth being a ball just because people like balls, I mean, it's actually the closest explanation you would ever get to, I think.
air molecules. That one.
And then when you see flat, it's like, it's an insult to a woman because she's flat, you know? It's crazy, but this sort of psychological thing is incredibly potent because we use language every fucking day to talk about things. And if children, men, grew up playing ball games, they're always gonna fucking resort into looking at the Earth as a fucking ball. And it's also like a power move, thinking about it that way. Is you see how many I'm fucking torn into a vortex at this point. Thinking like, wow, that's actually a very smart thing to say for a flat earther. Which is your favorite ball pick, you know? You definitely don't like flat. That's just what it is. It's a psychological fucking nonsense. Brain damage that has been like accumulated. And it's always gonna happen. That stupidity stacks. The more people believe in flat earth, then everything is gonna become flat and women gonna start panicking. You know, it's a scary thing, I understand, guys. Bye, get the fuck out of here. Problem solved. Right? Well, we're at least aware that there's a problem. Everyone talking English, by the way, across the world, right? We acknowledge that English is the maximum language you can possibly get to learn. So, yeah, this butt disproves flat Earth. This is the best proof they have for round Earth. Yes, I believe in round Earth. Please give me babes now, if you don't mind, that are not flat.